Hello, students! Today we will learn about grafting. In this method of propagation, two parts from two different plants are involved. One, the stem of a plant whose roots are fully developed, and the other part is the cutting from some other but related plant. This lower plant from which we take the root system is called stalk, and this upper portion is the scion, from which we take the shoot system. A slanting cut is made on the root stalk, and a similar cut is made at the lower end of the scion as well. Both are placed one over the other and tied together very carefully with a cloth or a moss. Now, both these parts together are referred to as a graft on a whole. Students, we have to be very careful while placing these two parts so that the vasculature of the scion is perfectly aligned with that of the root stalk. This is important because they form conductive tissue or act like transport pipes for the new graft. If they are not aligned, they will not form perfect continuous pipes and the graft will die due to lack of nutrition. Anything else that we need to do now? Yes, we must also cover the graft with a polythene sheet to prevent any infection on it. What will happen after a few days? It's interesting for you to know that wounds on both these parts will heal. The tissues of graft now become integrated with each other and develop as a single plant over a period of time. This method of artificially propagating plants is called as grafting. What are the advantages of this method of propagation? As you can observe here that desired characteristics of two different plants can be combined to create a new plant. Toughness, drought resistance, disease resistance, or best quality fruit are some of the desired qualities that can be mixed from two different plants
belonging to same genus or sometimes same species as well.
The other advantage is that fruit trees grown from the seeds may take many years before they start to bear fruit. But trees grown by grafting start to bear fruit much earlier. The other advantage is that plants usually need less attention in their early years than plants grown from seeds. So we can say that grafting is a technique where two closely related plants are used in order to produce a new plant, which has all the desired and combined traits of both the individual parent plants. In general, we use grafting for a variety of plants like roses, apples, avocados, etc. But amongst them, roses is the most commonly grafted plant variety. But do you know that grafting is not as simple as it seems? It can be done in multiple ways. So let's have a quick look at them. The first is slice grafting. In this process, both the stalk and scion should have the same diameter or a difference of less than half an inch in both. Make an inch-long diagonal cut on the top end of the rootstock and same at the base of scion. Now insert a scion onto the rootstock and bind them together using cloth. In few days' time, we will see the wound gets healed and both will unite and grow as one new plant. Now slice grafting works best for herbaceous plants. There is one another similar method of uniting the stalk and scion. It is a whip and tongue grafting. Here, instead of simple diagonal cut, a tongue-like shape is created on the scion and whip-like cuts are made on the stalk. Do you remember playing the jigsaw puzzle? Here, one piece exactly fits into other piece, isn't it? Yes, Just like that, when the scion with tongue is placed on the rootstock with the whip, both these whip and tongue get interlocked perfectly with each other. Just like our jigsaw puzzle. This method is most widely used for woody plants where the scion and stalk are similarly wide or have the same diameter. But students, compared to splice graft, this method produces stronger bonding because the interlocking between tongue and whips are held under compression naturally as they are of the same shape. Now the next method is saddle grafting or wedge grafting. Here again, the diameter of scion and stalk should be almost same. Do you know what a wedge looks like? Yes, that's the shape the scion is cut into, while the top of the rootstock is cut into V shape. For the perfect contact, the cuts on the rootstock and scion must be of the same length. And the rest of the process is just the same. Tie them up and plant will grow as one after some time. Now students, what if diameter of the stems of two desired plants are not same? Do we have any grafting technique for them as well? Yes, we have one there. Here in this method, the diameter of scion and stalk are not necessarily same. Stalk is much thicker than scion. Thus, one stalk can accommodate many scions. Now look at this bark. How does this resemble to wedge grafting? Yes, correct. In the way these cuts are made, many V-shaped cuts are made on the circumference, and a long wedge will fit into the single cut. Apply some grafting wax on the plain surface which is remaining in the middle of the bark so that it does not dry out. Now this grafting method works well for flowering and fruiting trees with big trunks. Now the next type of grafting is bud grafting. And do you know what it is? As the name suggests, the scion in this case is a bud instead of a part of stem. Grafting roses is the most prevalent example of bud grafting. In this process, a small portion of stem of a rose having bud is removed from the parent plant. It is then inserted into the stalk like this. Wait a minute. Observe here that a T-shaped cut is made on the stalk plant, unlike all other stalk cuttings. The bud is placed here and tied around firmly. After few days, additional buds start growing from the stalk plant's stem. This is the time when they are removed and planted to grow into new plants. When this plant grows, the characteristics of the bud plant will be ingrained in it. Why don't you try some of these grafting techniques in your garden? It will be both entertaining and educational. In our next video, we will learn about sexual reproduction in plants.